Good afternoon. Today we're going to talk about back channel devices in your classroom. These are just great. If you aren't using them, once you discover them, you are just going to be all excited. They make a huge difference in the impact of what you're teaching in your whatever your subject is and how students are understanding it. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Jackie Murray. I've been teaching technology to K through 8 for about 15 years, and I've been teaching for about 35 years, K through 16, starting in actually early childhood education, going all the way through college. So I love that. I get to see exactly how their minds change, their comprehension, their ability to get ideas changes over time. I really like technology because I get to keep the students for years and I know exactly where they are, how they're moving through things. I do teach. I teach online classes also. I mentor teachers and administrators. I help schools align their curriculum, their standards with technology, use technology as a tool to achieving their educational goals. I do a lot of webinars like this one. You've probably seen them around. And I pretty much just love technology. I love what it's doing for education. So today we're going to talk about back channel devices. This is something that we haven't been able to really get students passively sit in class and listen. That's your traditional image, is the teacher standing and students listening and taking their notes, but put their hand up to get recognized to ask a question. The back channel allows that to come to life. So when the students are sitting there with that calm look on their face, but they're completely lost, they can tell you that in the back channel. A back channel is a method of communicating behind whatever the primary information going on is, be it a class or a movie or a speaker, whatever it is. Behind that, while that person's presenting, people can communicate and say, hey, what did he say? I didn't understand that word. Can you help me with that? How's that tie into what we're doing? Those types of things while the speaker is still presenting, while the movie's going on. That's your back channel. It probably sounds confusing. Like, how can students do that, talk to each other and ask these questions while I'm up there trying to tell them something, then they're not concentrating on what I'm doing. But it's not like that. You'll have to try that out to convince yourself, but it isn't. And actually what I do is I have my back channel going on the smart board while I'm presenting. Now, I don't lecture very much in my classes anymore. It's more of a guiding to get people started, explaining what we're doing for the day, and then the students go at it and I walk around and help. So I really don't have those big chunks of time where I'm 15 minutes I'm still up there talking. I just rarely do that. But I will say sometimes we have conversations as a class where I am moderating and I'm asking questions and students are pitching in with their ideas. They're using evidence to support their thoughts. And that's all going on as a big group. Back channel works very well there too. Because it would be, if you can see over here, I like using Twitter. Here's my Twitter back channel. And it would, here it is. And students will put a hash mark. We all use the same Twitter account. It's Tech Teacher 2009. We use that Twitter account. It's closed. No one can join this except for people I approve. And that's how your Twitter would be. It will be a closed system. No one joins it but your students, parents, whoever you allow to join it. You have hashtags set up that the students will use the hashtag and then they can organize by the hashtag. If I click this hashtag, then I get only what's going on in that subject. Now, in this case, the hashtag only had structure, but if I put, and let's go back a second, if I put my tweet, and my tweet would say structure Murray class, and that's my hashtag. Now that's pretty unique. You must use a unique hashtag, And then I'd put whatever it is. And then when I click that and it comes up, it's really not going to get anything. There we go. That's the only one, because I didn't even put anything in that. But that keeps you with only those tweets. So then the students will organize their answers to projects. If they're listening to a movie, they'll organize it by the name of that movie and your class, and then they'll do their back channel conversation. This goes on as a stream on your smart screen, and I'll just make it smaller, so it's really just taking this little corner of my board while we're doing our other stuff. And there it is. So that's our back channel going on if we're using Twitter. We actually have a lot of ways we can, different ways we can use different tools for the back channel. I like this one because it's so interactive. But this is a very cool way. And then it can be accessed from home. It can be, they can go back to it by using those hashtags and look at it when they get home and review the conversation. You as the teacher can do that. You can put it into Storify and publish a conversation that you did in Twitter and share it with everyone. Lots of fun things. The important part of all this, though, is that conversation is going on in the background. So this back channel can be used for conversation, can be used for asking questions, can be used for the students answering another student's question. If a student says, what was that formula? And then another student can jump in and answer it before the teacher even maybe notices it or gets to it. But you want students helping each other. You want that kind of collaborative work going on. So that's good for a back channel. Note taking. If you're studying for a test, you might have all the students post their most important notes up there and discuss them with each other, or ask questions that they didn't understand from the unit and post them up there. Teacher can answer them, but let the students answer it first, reminding them how they do speaking and listening, evidence-based, using polite questions and answers, and handling it just the way that we talk about in speaking and listening for Common Core standards. They can share their resources. If you're doing research for a project, it might be that the team who has this particular topic all uses the back channel to share their resources. Or it really builds a community too, because these people, they'll come up with their own unique name and test it out, make sure it's unique. And then that's their group name. That's how they communicate with each other. So it builds a sense of community within the group. Much easier to do than if everyone has to gather at someone's house and get rides over there, or if they're young enough. So that's the benefits of a back channel. Understand, if you're not using it yet, you're going to be using it soon, because it's part of the way the education classroom is changing. Students are participating. They're taking responsibility for their own education. It will help them behave better, care more, get better grades, because they'll be part of creating it. Just like in a job in an environment. If you're part of the goal, if you help create it, you're going to care more about achieving it. Students are the same way with that. So we have a couple different back channel devices we can use. Twitter certainly is one. That's a very good one. And there's one called Backchannel Chat. Let me rearrange my screen, okay, and make this bigger. And Backchannel Chat, which is private. Twitter takes a little bit of work to get it private. Not bad, though. And this one, it starts out private. There is a fee attached to it, but then students can have their own avatars. It makes sure that there's no profanity used. It allows all those good back channel tools, ideas that we were talking about can take place on this. So this is kind of a nice one. I haven't used it, so I'd love feedback from anyone who has used it. I ran into it when I was preparing for this webinar, and it looked pretty good. Okay, then we have another one I haven't used called, oh, this is pretty cool. This Cover It Live. I'm gonna skip that one. That's a pretty good one, but we're gonna skip that for the moment. Here's one that a lot of people are very familiar with, is Socrative. It's actually pretty popular. Socrative and Today's Meet are very popular. So you can set up an account on these and then show your students how to log in. Let me see. I don't think you can see that up there. Let me make this smaller so you can see. So student login, teacher login, and it does allow all the things we've talked about with Backchannel devices. It also allows you to assess student knowledge with a quick quiz or answer this question sort of thing, multiple choice, as does Today's Meet. Didn't come up, did it? Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Today's Meet, also very popular. Create a room, name your class. It's all, you just set it all up and everyone goes into that class with the password and the link, and that's where you communicate. I like this too. And I wouldn't say I like it better or worse than Twitter. It is one more step. You have to know how to get to that site and how to set up the room and then go into the room. Twitter, you have to know how to use the correct hashtag. So whatever works better for your group, it is probably your best idea. So this is a really popular one, Today's Meet. So I think we've got one more, Padlet. And Padlet is more where you'll create a board. Any one of these, this is one I created on What Are You Doing This Summer? This will be up on your smart screen. This one's really too busy. Let's pick one that isn't quite so busy. How about Untitled one? I think that has nothing. This would be up on, probably on your smart screen would be fine, or up on the students' iPads or on their laptops, whatever they're using, Chromebooks. And then as you're having a conversation about a subject, they would add their notes. Let me see. It should have. All you have to do is double click, put your name and your answer, whatever you're talking about for the question. And then it's there. You can link it, you can upload it, you can, what is that one? Take a photo. Aha, we could take a photo from the webcam if you have that. Okay, so that's how you do that one, Padlet. Padlet's kind of fun, and it is very private. No one gets on that wall except your students. So once it's set up for them, there it is. It would keep track then of all their thinking on a particular topic. It would get pretty messy, as you could see on that other one I brought up. It gets pretty crowded and messy and overlapping once you get a lot going on. But you work with it. You figure out what works best for your class, and that's the direction you go. You can also use Google Apps for Education. Use some sort of a spreadsheet that you keep up on the screen, and then you have today, and then students make their comments under today's topic, and they have their name, and then beside each one they put their comment about that topic going on for the day. And then that's collected. Everyone's thoughts are collected on that one spreadsheet or that one table, and then they're shared with everyone in the class. So everyone benefits from the knowledge of all the students. Plus, if a student asked a question, then another student can go in and answer it later when they have a little time to sit and think about it. So that's our back channel. The impact on education will be all the things we're really trying to encourage with Common Core thinking, and just with the educational reform ideas that we are throwing around. It's going to encourage more collaboration among students, more communication, more publishing and sharing. Students are not going to so much think about, okay, I created this, turn it into my teacher, I'm done, I move on. They're going to think about, who can I share it with? How can I get feedback from people on it? All those things happen much easier when you have a back channel where students are encouraged to talk about things than when you don't. So those are very good. It also allows, if you have students who are absent, it lets them partake of the conversation, because whatever you have going on that back channel, they can be part of too, even if they're homesick. If they know you're having a certain history class uses a back channel and it's on Twitter, they can log on to that Twitter account while they're in bed sick and join the conversation, or at least watch what's going on. If they don't feel up to it, they can watch what's going on and still feel part of their learning that's going on. And I think that's pretty good. I think that's good. So that's our back channel. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, especially those of you who have used back channel devices. How do they go in your class? I'd also like to hear from those of you who haven't used them. Why not? What's holding you back on getting involved in a back channel? All right, guys. Very good. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you really soon. Bye.